Hello, FlossTube. My name is Shanda and I live along the Continental Divide in Idaho, and there's no place like a cozy home for Christmas. My channel. It is the second Saturday of December and the second Saturday of every month I post a new video. Sometimes it'll be late in the day, sometimes it'll be earlier in the day, and sometimes it might even be Sunday morning before it uploads. But every second weekend of the month I will be coming back to visit with you and talk about cross stitch and quilting. Today I have two FFOs. I have two FOs, one cross stitch and one quilting, and some other things I want to share. But first, my Baby It's Cold Outside is back here, decked out, ready for the holidays, and that's something I usually leave up probably at least through Valentine's Day. I have my small feather tree in this yellowware bowl. You can't quite see the top of it, but my granddaughter strung some popcorn the other day when she was here, and that yellow antique bowl is a real McCoy. It's one of my very prized possessions. Yes, that yellowware bowl is a prized possession with a quilt coming out of it. Okay, I recently got a package back from Jolynn from Acorns and Threads, and I have two FFOs today that are cross stitch related. The only FO I have is my 4x5 quilt block anthology quilt top is done, and I will show you that after the cross stitch. The first one I got back, I got two in the same package. Thank you, Jolynn. I wasn't expecting these until January, and you answered the call above and beyond. Is Stacy Nash 1802 Biscornu Pin Keep. And here is my finish. Let's go like this so you can see that 1802 kind of, sort of. And here is the back, my initials and a tree and a dog and a beautiful urn with flower. 1802 Biscornu from Stacy Nash. And the other finish is also a Stacy Nash. It is called the Feathered Nest Pin, Feathered Nest Pin Book. This is a beauty. Here it is, but the ribbon's on the side. I'm gonna put this down now, and when here's the back that let me show you the back of the chart. I just love that back. That back just makes the whole thing. But when you undo the ribbon, this is what it looks like inside. I haven't even put any needles or pins in here yet. Isn't that just precious? Oh, I just love it. I just love it. Jolynn, you did a great job. Beautiful. I'm so happy. Okay, my one FFO, no, those were FOs. I need to get my acronyms right. The one FO I have done is, I stitched with this with my friend Christy, is Mary Bell Sampler by Lori Rippey. The Lori, Homespun Prims by Lori. See that. This was just a total impulse. I saw it, I loved it, I bought it, downloaded instantly, and I went, I have to go home and stitch this. Other things kind of got put on the side burner, my other Christmas projects, but here is my finish. 36 count Wren, all the called for, DMC. I will frame it. I'm having a hard time finding a frame that will work or that I like. But there she is in all her glory, Mary Bell. Lori has many, many beautiful, beautiful charts out there. Okay, my works in progress, my whips. I'm trying to decide which pile to attack next. I worked a little bit on my sleigh bells from Country Rustic Primitives. Just got the word sleigh almost done. And because this is DMC, I like to, of course, do some outlining first and then go back and fill, cross the other X, cross the other way. My little sheep pin or needle minder. Sleigh and then bells is missing, but this is what it will look like. Sleigh bells, that's what it will look like. This chart is downloadable. It's a PDF. Let me get that glare off of there. Okay. The other one I started in March. These are all Christmas projects, by the way. The other one I started in March of 2021, and I did not get very far on it at all. Maybe I wasn't in the Christmas spirit, but it's Christmas Rose. Beautiful chart. Here's the back. I have a friend who stitched this, and she stitched that house solid, and I liked it too. I'm not sure if I'm going to stitch it solid or stitch it so that it looks like bricks. Christmas Rose, and this is a really sad, sad, pathetic start. I'm stitching with all the called for, and it's 36 count Wren. Lint on my nose. And I just have the board, I just have the border done there, but I'm gonna like the modeling or the staining on this one. So it's a sad start, but it's a start nonetheless. It was in my whip count, so. And then the other two I didn't get far at all. This is my Christmas bag from, I'll put it across the bottom here. Most of the time I make my own bags, but this one I just loved. It has the Christmas tree trucks on it, and then the inside is presents, and I just loved it, so I bought this one for myself. My Christmas bird, I did get a little bit done on this one. This is out of the Christmas Winter 2016 Punch Needle and Primitive Stitcher magazine, and it is this one right here. This is what it looks like finished. And I only got some more of the border done. I don't know if you can see that very well. But now that my big quilt top is done, I will really concentrate a little bit more here before Christmas on these Christmas projects and see if I can get one or two more done. And then the other one out of the same magazine is called Cookie's House, and I literally haven't done anything else. It's got shutters, and I'll show you the chart here in a minute. I did my shutters, red shutters on my house. Oh, excuse me, it is so windy. When I stepped outside to take out the trash, I think dust blew in my eyes and my face. Cookie's House. I just think that is so cute. I love it. I think I can get one or I know I can get sleigh bells done before Christmas. But I'm not sure which or both of these I can get done now that my quilt top, like I said, is done. I was focusing so hard on that quilt top. I wanted to get that quilt top done, and I did. Okay. Before I show you my previous Christmas finishes, I wanted to mention that I was kind of messing around at work one day, and I was I had just come back. Actually, I just come back from Maggie's on Main. I was stitching for the morning, and she has a stitch in sometimes on Wednesdays, and I had gone that morning, and I was looking for a Gentle Arts thread, and you know, Gentle Arts are kind of hard to find. So I came back to my desk and I thought, I know there's conversions out there. So I printed off a classic Colorworks conversion. These are down at PDF. I just went out and downloaded them and printed them off. And all of these are to DMC, not DMC the other way. I mean, you could, but they're alphabetized by Classic Colorworks. So here's the Classic Colorworks one. I got the, no charge, these were free. Gentle Arts to DMC. This one is a much smaller print, but you could still certainly use it. And then the third one is Weeks Thy Works converted to DMC. So anyway, there you have it. Free. Different websites. I just Googled like Classic Colorworks to DMC or Gentle Arts to DMC, because they're all three different. Looks like the Stitchers Village on one. The Stitchers Village, and this one is Stitches and Things. So they're different. There's different PDFs available out there, but these were all free. And so I'm going to keep these in with my 2002 needlebook calendar that we like. I don't have it here with me because I haven't started in it yet, actually. But I'm just going to keep these in the front of that. So I have them for handy reference. So those are out there if you want to go print them out and download them. Okay, previous Christmas finishes. First of all, I'm wearing this wood carved Santa. And clear back in 1998, my husband was a new teacher, teaching at a high school here in Idaho. And let me see if I can raise this up so you can see it. It's on my denim shirt. He noticed this man whittling one lunch hour. It was actually only a half hour. The kids only had a half-hour lunch, but he noticed this man whittling on a piece of wood. Carving, whittling, whatever you want to call it. Being creative anyway. And he knew that I would love this style of whatever he was whittling on. And his name was Vic. And my husband asked him what he was going to do with it. And he said, I don't know, I'm just practicing. I'm probably just going to get rid of it. And my husband said, I would really like that for my wife. And so Vic finished it and he painted it. And my husband said, can I pay you something for it? And he says, no, I was just practicing. But if your wife has any of the pin backs extra, when she puts a pin back on this one, could I please have some? Well, of course I went and, after my husband gave this to me, I went and got him a whole bag of them. But then when my husband brought it home, the colors were a little bright. So all I did was put some antiquing medium on it. But he gave this to me one year for Christmas and he signed it. He is a world-class carver, come to find out. His name is Vic Haight, H-A-I-G-H-T. And he won, he's mainly known for his life-size carvings of fish and fly reels and different outdoorsy things that he experiences on his hunting and fishing trips. But he did this Santa. He has moved into Santas and other things. I don't know if he has these for sale. He signed and dated this on the back and it was in 1998. So this is one of my most favorite prized Christmas possessions. Just to know that, number one, my husband was thinking of me as this man was whittling on his lunch break. And number two, that Vic has an incredible, incredible talent. This morning, my husband Googled his name because he's since retired and he's lost track of Vic, but he is out there on the internet. And like I said, I don't know if he sells anything small or large. I know some of his wood carvings are very, very large, but he has got, I'm going to take this off so you can see it up close, but he has got some amazing things out there. And I just love this pin. I wear it, I put it on my coat actually. Isn't he beautiful? And it's wood. Like I said, the only thing I did was antique him. I put some antiquing medium on him. And he's just beautiful. Vic Haight. V-I-C-H-A-I-G-H-T. Incredibly talented person. Okay, my prior Christmas finishes. This one I know was last year, and it's really small, but I wanted it small to fit in my dough bowl. This is the Christmas, and I will scroll across here. I'm pretty sure it's Country Rustic Primitives, but I could be wrong. And I know it's 36 count, and here's my back. Oh, Christmas at Winterberry Cabin from Brenda Gervais. I started out really not liking this. I didn't really like the colors. I just wasn't happy with some of the choices. I believe I stitched it, all threads were called for, but I messed up on the green. I misread the chart, but it's still green, but it was supposed to be a little bit darker green, possibly something like this one with the tree. But at first I was like, okay, I just don't want to start this again. I just want to finish it. I am so happy with this now. And I turned mine into a pillow. A jolly old Santa there with Rudolph pulling a sleigh. I love it. I just love it. Christmas at Winterberry Cabin with Thy Needle and Thread. And I'm pretty sure I finished this one last year also. And the last chart is from 2007, Parson Brown, Not Forgotten Farm. And my granddaughter, who was probably 6 at the time I was stitching this, wanted to learn to cross stitch. And so I showed her a little bit and she watched me, but then I turned around about a half an hour later, she's sitting in my stitching chair and she is stitching on Parson Brown. Now down here in the body of his bottom snowball, there's some stitches, and you'll notice in my intro, if you look really, really carefully at my intro picture, you will see that Mr. Snowman has some stitches that are very much awry, and I left them. I did not want to take them out. They were very primitive, and she stitched them, my granddaughter Emma, and I did not want to take them out. I wanted to leave them, but some of them are 2/3. I believe this is on 36 count, but she had her X's going different cattywampus ways. I'll kind of hold that up there, see if you can kind of see how they're kind of going different directions and whatnot. I left it. I wanted it just like that. Anyway, this is my Parson Brown, Not Forgotten Farm. And I finished this, she was 6, probably about 2014 or 15. It's been done for a while. That sounds about right to me. I could be wrong, but regardless, it's done. And Emma put some stitches into it, so there's that. Okay, what do I want to go to next? My plans after Christmas are definitely, I will have a New Year start. But when I visit with you the second weekend of January, I'm really hoping to have this done and surprise you, Wendy. Jobiana 1841. This is on 28 count linen, and I am doing it 1/1, so it's kind of a challenge because the linen is pretty open weave, but it is 28 count vintage smoky white cashel linen. And I haven't done anything on this since we visited last when I showed it, but I just wanted to let you know of my plans before we meet again. And I really want to get this one done because this chart is beautiful and I think it's a gorgeous color for January. And then I will also be working on the big long one, Hibernation Day. Okay, that's all for cross stitch. I'm going to talk about quilting, just one project here. If you don't want to listen to quilting, I will see you next month if you choose to come back. I have had so many wonderful new subscribers leave me comments and messages. When I started this channel way back in 2017, I didn't think it would be anything like it is now. It was just mainly a way to keep in communication with my family and my aunt back in Illinois, who is a big quilter. And I was out here in Idaho, and I could show her what I was working on. And it's just really exploded into something I never dreamed. But in 2019, I don't have my book right here with me, but in 2019, I embarked on, you know what? I'm going to put it on pause just so I can get the book. Hang on. Okay, I went and bought the book. It's the 4x5 Quilt Block Anthology by Carol Hopkins and Linda Koenig. And I took mine down because I knew I was going to be using it a lot. I took mine down and had a spiral bound put on it. It was just at either like Kinko's or FedEx copies or some fabric store or some office supply facility. And I think I cut out anywhere between 4 and 8 a week and put them together. And each block kind of stands on its own, but there's 182 different blocks in this book that all finish 4x5. So when the quilt blocks were finished just themselves, they were 4.5 by 5.5. I've had a lot of questions. Sometimes they weren't quite 4.5 by 5.5, but I squared them up the best I could to be 4.5 by 5.5. And then by the time you put them into the quilt top, they will finish out at 4x5. This book and this project, if I had not done that, I know this would not be done. There were many, many times I wanted to give up. The Jane Sickle quilt has 169 blocks and they are square. I've never made that quilt, so I want to say they're probably 4 or 6 inches square. Plus there's some pieced triangular pieces in the scalloped border. So total, I believe there's about 225 different pieced patterns in the Jane Sickle quilt, and I have seen that quilt. It is housed in the Bennington, Vermont Museum, and I've been there twice. Been lucky enough to go to New England twice. I absolutely love New England. But I saw that quilt in person and it was stunning. That was way before I undertook this project. But this quilt project had 182 different blocks, and the setting I chose was called the Sparrow's Window. And my piecing was all done January of 2020, and then 2020 I took a year off from quilting. I was quite tired of piecing anything for myself. I quilted for others. I have a long arm quilting machine, so I quilted for others. But now this one is done, and it is so big that I'm going to take it outside and have my husband help me hold it up so we can show you what it looks like. But it is kind of never ending. It is a ginormous piece of a quilt, and so I will take this out. The only recommendations, if I could, I used a stiletto a lot. Let me hold this over here against my dark piece of furniture. A stiletto is a really sharp pointed, can you see that? It's just a sharp pointed, very sharp on the end. There's a cap that goes to it. But I used this to hold my pieces together as I would put them through my sewing machine. I used thinner than normal thread, probably close to 60 weight, I would say. And some of my pieces I ironed open. There is one block in here, believe it or not. This house is one of my favorites, but I panicked because I thought, I didn't get it centered. But in the book, it's like this. It's not supposed to be centered, I guess, but I kind of panicked on that one. But in here, there is a block. I just love this blue one. I love this blue one. There is a block that has 76 pieces in it. And it's bow ties. It's called baby bows, I want to say. And if the house is there, then it's over here somewhere. Oh, here it is. See, it's right here. That quilt block has 76 pieces in it. Each bow tie block has 6. And there's 10 of those. So there's 60 pieces just in the bow tie blocks. And then the negative blank squares. 70 pieces, sorry. I thought I counted 76. 10 times 6 is 60. So 70 pieces in that block alone, and it's 4 by 5. Those connector squares that are on the baby bows, I don't even remember how small they were, but threads. I was working with threads, literally threads, and my stiletto. So if you're undertaking this little endeavor, I starched everything before I started it. But it's just, I worked patiently. It was well worth the endeavor, though, I will tell you. I'm so glad it's done, but I'm very happy at the way it turned out too. It won't be quilted until next summer. And that part is actually the easy part. I don't know how I'm gonna quilt it yet, probably just really tiny micro stippling or something. But I'm glad that that part is done. I'm glad that the quilt top is done. All these many different blocks. See if I can hold some of these up for you. But like I said, I'm gonna take it outside, and my husband's gonna help me film this. I have kind of an idea. So we'll see how it goes. In closing, I wish you all a very Merry Christmas. Thank you to the subscribers and my followers and my viewers. Like I said, this has been an incredible journey. I come back the second weekend of January. Hopefully I will have Jobiana 1841 finished, and I will have my plans. I will have my future stitching ideas. I think I will have my whip count, and I think I'm only gonna start 4 next year. I'm just gonna limit myself because I really wanna stitch what I have. I wanna stitch more, start less, and get some of these whips done. And I was trying to think of a slogan that goes along with, you know, no more whips in progress. I came up with Whips No More in 2024. So that gives me 3 years, 22, 23, and sometime in 2024 to have all my whips done. So next year, I think I'm only gonna start 4. And if I start any, they're gonna be fairly small. I've got plenty of big girls that I need to get finished, get done. The one I really wanna start is Sarah Casey Unwin, but she's a big girl, and I just promised myself that I can't start anything big like that till some of my other bigger ones are finished. So, but Merry Christmas. Thank you for the comments, for the kind cards, for the just kindredness that I feel with all of you as we stitch, as we do what we love, as we quilt, as we make our homes cozy for Christmas, as we put up the tree, as we have a cup of tea at night and we are doing our stitching or enjoying family time. Whatever it is that makes you happy at Christmas, I wish you the very best, and I will see you in 2022.